Hello and welcome for a webinar on somniferous poisons. In this, we will study somniferous poisons means opioids, or also called as opium poisoning, or also called as morphine poisoning. Somniferous poisons means those poisons which are characterized by two sets of symptoms. One is stage of excitement and other is stage of narcosis. There is excitement and narcosis in this poisoning. Narcosis means which induces sleep. That is why it is called as somniferous. Somni means sleep. Look at this plant. This plant is Papaver somniferum, which is called as Afim. Afim in Hindi. So in northern India, they call Afim ki kheti. In Marathi, it is called as Afu. And what exactly is opium? Look at this beautiful flower. This is an opium plant flower. It is quite attractive. And this plant almost looks like a calendula plant or a marigold plant. So this plant is actually it has highly addictive active principle or alkaloids. So addictive drug refined from opium poppies. And also from the poppy, we can refine morphine, codeine, thebaine, papaverine. These are the active principles. Opium can be made into heroin, which is even more potent than the normal opium. So it is highly poisonous and highly addictive synthetic product of opium. You can see this plant. This plant is almost of size and shape of a calendula plant. It's got bushy appearance. This plant gives quite beautiful flowers in different colors, pink, red, white, purple, and they are quite attractive. This plant is used for the purpose of preparation of poppy seeds, which is used in the food or for the purpose of preparation of oils or in the masalas. And plus, this plant is also used for the manufacturing of different potent active principles like morphine, codeine, which is used in the allopathic drugs. Plus, opium is used in homeopathy for the preparation of homeopathic drug called as opium. But it is also abused for the purpose of drug addiction. That is the point of concern here today, which we are going to study through opium poisoning. Well, now let us look at the history of opium. It was first cultivated in 3400 BC in a Mesopotamia area, which is present Iraq area. And this plant was called as Hulgil, means joy plant, because consumption of opium produces excitement and it gives joyfulness. The Greek gods, Hypnos means god of sleep, Nyx means god of night, and Thanatos means god of death. They were depicted wreathed with poppies. And the Persian physician means today's Iran in Al-Razi, 845 930 AD. He used opium for the purpose of anesthesia, small surgeries, and also it can be used for the treatment of melancholy because it will make the person happy, and usually in the depressions also. Now, what are the somniferous poisons? They are called as opioids, commonly called as opioids, and they are also called as narcotics because they produce narcosis and it is used for the purpose of drug addiction. Consumption of opium will reduce the pain. Severe pain is reduced by the opium. So morphine injections are used for the purpose of analgesics. And they also induce sleep, like morphine, pethidine, they are used in the allopathy for the purpose of inducing sleep. And so omnivorous poisons gives three types of different important poisons. We can say products, what you call it. The proper opium is made for the excitement and narcosis. So in a low dose, it gives excitement. In a higher dose, it will lead to narcosis, means deep sleep. Here you can see the capsules of the opium. They are dried capsules. Now they are mostly used for the purpose of removing the poppy seeds which are contained in those pods. Those, in Marathi they are called as bond. In that there is a poppy seeds, and these poppy seeds are used for the purpose of edible, all cookings with the help of this poppy seeds, masalas and oil. But usually when it is ripe and it is it is not dried at that stage, it is used for that, for taking out those alkaloids. Another part is important poison from opium is heroin. Heroin is also called as brown sugar. Though it is called as brown sugar, it doesn't look brown, or it is not, sweet in taste also. This is a synthetic derivative of opium, which is called as diacetyl morphine, and it is a very strong analgesic, and it is also narcotic. It induces, deep sleep, and this causes severe addiction. So one time consumption will call for repeated consumption of heroin, and people will get addicted. So heroin is commonly used for the purpose of, for the addiction, who are eventually called as drug addicts. And what we call in Marathi or Hindi, that is amli padar. So this is amli padar, which is banned in India. I'll come to that point later on. Here you can see the refined heroin. This is Asian heroin. It looks like a powder, white. It doesn't look brown. But if it is, heated, it will convert into what you call brown liquids. That's why it is called as a brown sugar. You can see in this picture, you can see a spoon which is containing brown sugar. If this brown sugar is heated, that will give you this brownish color, solution, which is taken into the body intravenously, and that gives a very strong kick to the people who are drug addicted, and that is dangerous to the life. And there are many other hazards also. Well, let us talk about pethidine now. Pethidine is a third important poison which is made up from opium. It is also called as meperidine. It contains meperidine, and pethidine are also available in the injection forms. They are strong analgesics. Analgesia means they kill severe types of pains. Euphoria means for the purpose of better feeling, good feeling. And they are very high in addiction. And if the people are addicted towards this pethidine, it is very difficult to treat them, because they will not come back to the normal state if they are addicted to pethidine. This is the chemical formula of the pethidine, synthetic, because it is a synthetic, that is why we show it like this. Opium means afim. I told you afim, or in Marathi it is also called as afu, and it is a dried juice. Dried juice. So juice which dries later on. So dried juice obtained by incision on unripe, before it is ripened. That capsule which I showed you, that is incised with the help of blades or knives, uh, uh, and that will give out the juice. And this juice is dried, and that dried juice is used for the purpose of preparation of opium or afim. Okay, and there are two groups of alkaloids which are present in this opium, juice, which is dried, and that dried juice is now later is used for the purpose of preparing other types of synthetic products of opium. So there are two groups of alkaloids, phenanthrene and isoquinoline. Remember these two, phenanthrene and isoquinoline. Now let us see first group, that is phenanthrene group. This phenanthrene group contains about 10% of morphine. So these are all alkaloids, okay? Morphine, codeine about 0.5%, thymine about 0.3%, dianine and heroin. So diacetyl morphine. Codeine we usually see, which is used in the cough syrup. Morphine we get in injectables. So heroin is mostly used for the purpose of drug addiction, and that is illegally used. It is banned in almost in the world. It is banned. So nowhere it is available for the purpose. But still, the things which are banned are more circulated amongst those people who are addicted, and those people who do such kind of business, or what you can call it as a smuggling and all that. Isoquinoline group contains papaverine about 1% and narcotin about 6%. So they are mild analgesics, but no narcotic effect is seen in these two. The phenanthrene group is narcotic in nature. Here you can see opium plant, and the stems of this opium are giving rise to the flowering tops, and these flowering tops will later on get matured and get converted into a capsule. Look at that capsule, lots of capsule you see. And one capsule is shown on the right side of mine. It is cut with the help of a blade or knife, and that is giving out a juice, milky juice. That juice is kept on the pod itself for some time. When it gets dried, it is scraped from it and taken out, and that is collected by the people who cultivate such kind of plants in the fields. Cultivation is highly restricted. I'll talk about that later on. If you see in the whole world cultivation of opium, it is more in the Afghanistan country, which is almost neighboring country to us above Jammu and Kashmir, and that country is highly known for the cultivation of opium, and the atmosphere there is also feasible for this cultivation. And that country is almost facing lots of terrorism, and because of mismanagement lots of drugs are exported from that country for the purpose of addiction. In India, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, they are more known for the cultivation of opium, and the government of Uttar Pradesh and government of Bihar have given restricted permissions to the farmers to grow this under license for the purpose of food and medicine, not for the purpose of addiction. Even in other states also, permission is required from the state government for the purpose of making poppy seeds or for the purpose of medicinal use. It is highly restricted cultivation in India. Here you can see that pod. Now it is incised vertically, and lots of juice is oozing out. This juice is later on collected when it's dried up for the purpose of making muffin. Even if you eat that dried juice, chew it under the teeth, that will produce excitement and what you call narcosis. The ripe and dry capsules later on, when usually for the purpose of farming, capsule poppy contain very little opium. So now when the capsule gets dried up, it has got almost traces of opium. So there is no risk about opium poisoning. And it contains the poppy seeds. Poppy seeds means khaskhas, and which are creamish white in color, and they contain no opium. Khaskhas, which is used in the food for the purpose of masalas, for the purpose of making oil for cooking, they do not contain opium. And everybody has a khaskhas in the home. If you see, visit your kitchen today and see khaskhas, that is prepared from the opium, but it has got no poisonous or narcotic effect because it doesn't contain. Alkaloids of opium used in medicine are morphine and codeine mostly. Morphine, I told you, it is usually used for the as an analgesic, and codeine is usually used for the cup, for the purpose of cup preparations, because it suppresses the cup. They act as narcotic also and as sedatives also. Apomorphine is used as emetic. Emetic means for the purpose of making a person to vomit. So there are lots of medicinal uses also. Okay. Well, here you see some ampules of different types and different medicine preparations it contains, like uh, ketanest, okay, and fentanyl, Syntrica, and morphine. Here you can see the morphine ampule. So these are all prepared from this opium plant, that is opium alkaloid, and they are highly effective and they are highly helpful for the human beings when they are appropriately used. When I got operated for my shoulders, and I remember I had used this, doctor had used that morphine to me. I know what feeling it gives to you when you get a severe type of pain. And but it is used under medical care and the person who are licensed to use it. Now opiates means they are naturally present in the opium, like morphine, codeine, and theanine. They are naturally present in the opium, and opioids means they are synthetically manufactured and derived from an opiate. So first is opium, then there is opiate, and then there is opioid. So opioid means heroin from morphine, and buprenorphine from thebaine. Synthetics are completely man-made to work like opiates and methadone. Now these preparations are more used for the purpose of drug addiction. Opium Papaver somniferum is a plant, and opium is dried juice of Papaver somniferum. Ripe and dry poppy capsule will give you khaskhas, poppy seeds, and which are harmless. Properties of opium we'll try to understand in a short in a way. It's like it smells like raw flesh. Raw flesh means meat, M-E-A-T, meat, mutton. If you smell it, and that it tastes bitter. If you put your tongue, it is bitter. So I told you, heroin is called as a brown sugar, but it's not sweet. When fresh plastic and moist internally, on keeping becomes hard, brittle, and dark brown. Okay, so it converts into brown color. So that word brown sugar comes. Active principle, two groups we talked about, phenanthrene and isoquinoline, and what phenanthrene contains and what isoquinoline contains. That also we saw. We'll see it again. Phenanthrene group contains morphine, codeine, and thebaine, and isoquinoline group contains papaverine and narcotine. We are talking about the details of alkaloids because these are the things which we need to understand. Because morphine stands at the highest percentage. Raw opium extract will give you morphine, codeine, and thebaine. And from morphine, heroin is prepared. From thebaine, percadine is prepared. Difference between the word opium, opiate, and opioid. Opium is fluid content from the poppy plant, that juice, that is opium. Fresh juice or dried juice, both are opium. And a substance which is derived from opium synthetically is a opiate. And substance from opiate which is further refined, manufactured, like morphine, okay, and these are called as opioids. Okay. Opioids are highly potent as far as action is concerned. How this opium is administered into the body of human beings? It can be administered through lots of routes. If you see, it can be taken orally, it can be taken parenterally, it can be inhaled through nose, and it can be applied to the skin topically or through orifices of the body. So intravenous, hypodermic, smoking, eating, everything is possible to take this opium inside the body. Here you can see a person taking opium through a smoke. Usually in northern India, we find people, lots of people of sadhu category also use this with other narcotic substances which are from other plant like cannabis sativa. So hashish and charas and ganja, those are from different plant. And what you call cocaine is from different plant. Here we are talking only about opium, morphine, codeine, okay, and those substances are in one word, in Indian word we call them as afim, or in Marathi we call them as afu. So here we are only talking about afim, afu, and opium, and the person here taking injection of morphine. Here you can see a person hitting the brown sugar and then further smoking it for the purpose of kick. Here you can see one gentleman smoking the opium. How the opium get absorbed and how does it get excreted? It is absorbed through the GIT and excreted in the stomach, intestine, and bile. Even if you take it by IV, eventually it get excreted into the stomach, intestine, bile, and milk also. And it is elementally mainly as morphine in the urine and feces. It is excreted in the stomach and small intestine even after parenteral use. By IV, if you take, it will come eventually in the stomach and intestine, and then it is excreted through feces. So in the stomach wash, you will get the traces of this opium even after parenteral use is made for any other purpose. Now, what are the modes of action? So acts as agonist on different opiate receptors in CNS. There are opiate receptors. Opiate receptor sigma. Don't talk. Who's that talking? Sigma delta. It acts by depression of cortex. Respiration and cough centers are stimulated. Vagal reflex and vomiting is stimulated. Here you see a brown sugar, but this is not opium. This is a normal sugar which is brown in color, which is used for the purpose of tea. You get it in a white color also, you get it in a brown color also. This brown sugar, this is actual brown sugar. which is not a drug. Okay, unnecessarily the brown sugar is blamed in the name of opium. So first make out the differences between the brown sugar drug and brown sugar which is used for the purpose of tea or in for any other sweet preparations. So this is a sweet, though it looks brown in color, because it is brown in color, like jaggery is brown in color, and sugar which we use from factory is white in color. Okay, here you see the actual brown color. The white brown sugar powder is heated here, and that is getting converted into brown color fluid, and that is used with the help of a syringe, and it is injected into the body. The concerned addicted person will do it all himself. He'll heat it, he will take it, aspirate in a syringe, and then he will take it as an injection. And you see lots of such people in the area where the drug addicted people keep on booting. Okay, that, and this person has already taken it. He, after excitement, he has gone in a narcotic stage. He has no sense of keeping the syringe aside. So that is a heavy kick of this opium. And they share the syringes, and they involve in sexual activities, and we see the spread of HIV through this kind of route, because those people are totally careless about their life, because they are highly addicted. They want to get finished in the state itself. Okay, and that is why government of India, or say the Parliament of India, has passed an act in 1985, and the name of this act is Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985. This is a very significant act in the history of Indian Constitution, commonly called as NDPS Act. And this NDPS Act is for the purpose of prohibition of any person to produce a narcotic, to manufacture a narcotic, to cultivate a narcotic, to possess a narcotic, to sell a narcotic, to purchase or to transport or to store or to consume. So that is why all the restrictions and prohibitions are put by this act, and there is an imprisonment of 10 years for first offense. Remember, so you cannot produce. Those people who cultivate poppy for the purpose of poppy seeds, they are given license to produce. There is no license for the purpose of production of sugar cane, because sugar cane is eventually used for the purpose of alcohol also. Because alcohol doesn't come under NDPS Act. Even tobacco doesn't come under NDPS Act, because lots of tobacco plants you see in this, Kolhapur to Gadinglas area, lots of tobacco is planted, but you will not see anywhere this plant planted, or even ganja, what we call cannabis indica, cannabis sativa. There are many other plants. I'll talk about it later on, because narcotic drugs or psychotropic substances are highly dangerous for the people as well as for the society at large. This act means kaida, okay, adhiniyam. The act extends to the whole of India, and it applies to all the states and all the people in India who are Indian citizens, and those outside India also, and to all persons on ships and aircraft registered in India. So you cannot smuggle this product in India. You can do it import and export. This is totally banned, because this drugs is highly potent and dangerous drug substance. So this act is called as Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. There are many, if you see the schedules to this act, lot of substances are included, but today we are talking about opium. So let us consider opium under this act first. And here there is a farm or a field of opium plantation. So this is allowed. Somebody has done it because he is allowed to do so. And if it is from Afghanistan, administration doesn't have much control on their people who are residing towards hilly area. They do it, without the knowledge of administration, government, and they prepare opium and smuggle it out, even to India and all, mostly in the Western countries. That opium which you get, and that they make huge money out of this business, that which is prohibited and banned business. But in India, if you find this kind of field, it is allowed by the government for the purpose of cultivation in with some terms and conditions. And that is why I talked about Uttar Pradesh in India is very well known for the opium farming. Otherwise, you will not have poppy seeds in your home for the purpose of food. And these are the these are the unripe pods or capsules. Now these people are working on them to making the slits, and later on they will go and collect that opium juice which is dried, and they will, that is harvested, and it is sold to the companies for the purpose of separating the poppy seeds, and for the purpose of making of opium for whatsoever licensed product which government does. And with this, we have ended the first part of opium poisoning. The remaining part of opium poisoning I will take tomorrow, which is more important from examination point of view. If you have any questions, you can ask me, because we have a very short period in hand now. Yes. Anybody? Anybody want to ask any question? Well, let us take a break here today, and we'll come back to further study of opium poisoning tomorrow. Thank you. Have a nice day. तुम्ही बघितलं का झाड ओपियमचं?
ओपीएम
झाड कुठं बघितले काय?
नाही सर,
बघताच येत नाही. चुकून आता पॉपी सीड जर पेरला आपल्या शेतामध्ये आणि ते उगवलं, आणि गव्हर्नमेंटला कळलं की अमक्या अमक्याच्या शेतामध्ये पॉपी उगवलेली आहे, म्हणजे ओपियम उगवलेलं आहे, शेताच्या मालकाला कुणी पेरले त्याला लगेच अटक होते, माहितीये ना? आपण फक्त बाजारातून खसखस घरात आणू शकतो विकत, परंतु खसखस साठी मी झाड लावलंय असं म्हणू शकत नाही. झाड लावणेच गुन्हा आहे. झाड कुणी लावायचे, ज्याला परमिशन दिलेली आहे गव्हर्नमेंटने, कुठं लावायचे सगळं ते गव्हर्नमेंटच्या निरीक्षणाखाली ते करतात. इतकं डेंजरस आहे झाड. मी एक झाड बघितलं होतं, मला खूप, मी सेकंड इयरला असताना मला ते शिकतानाच मला एका ठिकाणी ते लावले होते, आणि ते लायसन्सने लावलं होतं. मी बघायला गेलो होतो. अत्यंत देखणी दिसतात झाडं, ती दिसायला खूप देखणी दिसतात, आणि त्याची फुलं इतकी मोहक असतात ना, आणि वेगवेगळ्या कलरची असतात. तुम्ही इंटरनेटवर बघितलं तर ओपीएमची झाडं बघा तुम्ही, कितीतरी प्रकारची झाडं असतात. आता ओपीएम पॉइजनिंग मध्ये दुसरा जो भाग आहे तो आपण उद्या घेणार आहोत.